We'll call to order the meeting of the Rocky Hill Board of Education, August 24th, 2023, 7 p.m. in the Rocky Hill Town Hall Council Chambers. This meeting is being live streamed to the Rocky Hill Public Schools website. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Is this one okay?
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
Okay,
for all.
all right. You're welcome.
All right. Good evening, everyone. For the record tonight, Board Member Dilip Desai is here remotely with us via phone. He feels he may be fighting a little bit of a sickness, but he is here and he's on the phone. So he is here with us tonight. With that, we will open up the meeting to audience participation. Meeting open to the public. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board tonight? I was hoping to get away with this. Our former chair is here, Mr. Morse. It is a pleasure to see you tonight. Please take the mic.
I just want to say, Brian, you've done a great job.
Your address, please.
Oh, ouch.
Morris,
Ooh.
66 Boulder Drive. Yeah, thank you, Maria. Yeah. And, Mr. Desai also, and everybody on the board. I know you don't hear it enough from the public, but everybody does appreciate what you do for the children of Rocky Hill, and I want to thank you all for your service here in Rocky Hill. And Brian and Dilip have done it for a long time, as many of you have, and continue doing a great job for the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morse. All right, meeting open to the public. Anyone else here wishing to address the board tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to special recognition. I know our state representative is here and would like to address the board. Ms. Wood.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Wood, 260 France Street. First of all, I just want to thank Brian for his years of service. I think I'm very lucky to have worked with you and served with you, and as well my dad as well. So we just want to wish you the best and thank you for everything.
I saw your dad at the transfer station this weekend.
That's a lot of people see him there.
He continues to lecture me everywhere I see him, but they are words of wisdom, so it was great to see him.
Well, thank you for allowing me to host this award for special recognition. I would like to ask Jessica Lafredo to come stand with me, please.
I was wondering why my family walked in.
I just want the town to know that Jessica came to me as a mother and as a teacher at the beginning of the legislative session and told me about the Seizure Safe School model language. And when I read about it, I couldn't believe that it wasn't something that was already in the schools. So we took the model and we drafted Bill HB 6822. And we submitted it and we started our work on lobbying colleagues. And I got the same response from most of my colleagues, which is, of course we're going to support this. We can't believe this isn't something that's already in statute. So not only did Jessica encourage me to write this bill, and we put it in and started to lobby for it, but during the Epilepsy Day lobby day at the Capitol, Jessica met with the leaders of the Education Committee and shared her personal experience as a mother dealing with a child that was suffering from seizures. I received a text shortly after the meeting from the chair of the committee, Representative Jeff Curry, who was in tears from her story. And they took the model language and they put that into the large education bill, which is bipartisan, which was supported, I think, probably unanimously. And I just wanted people to know that getting a bill passed is extremely difficult. And Jessica did all this work. I'm making it sound like it was easy. She was up at the Capitol. She was lobbying. She did emails. If you look at her social media feed, this was very important to her. So I just want to thank her for using the role of the state representative and getting something that was very passionate for her moved and getting something that will, I think, make all of our schools better. So here's a proclamation from the legislature. Just thanking Jessica for her work. And we're just so proud of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so it was not easy work. And I have to say that, sorry, I probably should speak up here. I have to say that there were some other passionate parents as well who worked with me. One who actually happens to be sitting here, Tom Kosker, along with the Epilepsy Foundation, where I am very proud to say I'm now sitting on their board of directors, and I'm also an education liaison to their professional committee of doctors and nurses. And I hope that the 4,500 students, children, teens, who are diagnosed with epilepsy or have a seizure disorder have a little bit of peace of mind knowing that their educators, their paraeducators, that our schools are safe for them. I have to tell you, during my convocation yesterday, I actually had paraprofessionals coming up to me sharing that they didn't know not to put something in someone's mouth when they were having a seizure or to turn them on the side. So simple tips like that can truly help keep someone who's having a seizure safe. I also have heard from people that they've kept their epilepsy diagnosis secret and don't want to tell people due to the stigma behind seizures. And we have to help them understand that they are safe and that they are here and that we are advocating for them every day. So thank you to the Rocky Hill Board of Ed, but also for Dr. Zito, your administrative staff in all of the buildings, Nurse Garahy and her nurses, and also the social workers that helped me. You listened to me as a parent. You supported the suggestions that I had to put the best seizure plan in place for our son, and we never worried about sending him to school last year. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Kate.
One last recognition. I would like to ask Rebecca Harriman from Cox Communications to come up and do the second presentation.
Hi, as Representative Wood mentioned, my name is Rebecca Harriman. I'm the Government Relations Manager for Cox Communications. So in the last few months, Cox put out a call for folks in our community to nominate outstanding coaches. And we were really excited to get the nomination actually from Representative Wood for Brian Gracia, sorry. And the nomination was beautiful and eloquent, and we all on the nominating committee, on the award committee, couldn't help but choose him for our first Outstanding Coaches Award here in Connecticut. So this was out of our service area in Rhode Island and Connecticut, and Brian's nomination stood out. So we're happy to be here to give him this award, and we'll be granting him $1,000 to give to the sports organization of his choice in his name. So thank you so much. For your community. And I don't know, Representative, if you want to just talk a little bit about why. Oh yeah, let's get a good photo. Hold on.
Just funnily, Rebecca was coming up the stairs and Brian was behind her, so she had to do some jiggling of the giant check on the ramp. But I did nominate Brian because I have known Brian since we went to school together. I know many of us in the room actually all went to school together, which is really funny that we're all here. But Brian has been a coach from the moment that I met him. He is always encouraging people, always empowering people. If you run and you want to do better at running, because as you can see, he is a fabulous runner. He may not know you, but he will get a running plan in place. He has done the same thing with his students. I have met many of his math students who Brian has said, some which are so smart, and there may not be programs in the schools that teach them. He goes above and beyond to find places for them to excel, and we are so lucky to have a teacher like Brian and a coach like Brian at the Rocky Hill School System. Thank you, everyone.
All right, continuing on. Thank you for that, Representative Wood. That was great. Continuing on to the approval of minutes, we have the June 13th, 2023 Board of Ed Curriculum Committee meeting, June 13th, 2023 Board of Ed Policy Committee meeting, June 13th, 2023 Board of Education Facilities Committee meeting, June 15th, 2023 Board of Ed meeting, July 25th, 2023 Board of Ed Technology Committee meeting, and August 10th, 2023 Board of Education Special Meeting. Are there any requests for edits, corrections, deletions to the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to adopt approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes is stated by the chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Tucker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Desai?
Yep.
Aye. Motion passes 9-0. Thank you. Correspondence, we have one piece of correspondence that I want to mention. Dr. Zito did distribute an email to the board members earlier this week regarding the parking situation, potential parking situation at Rocky Hill High School, and I'm just going to have him make a few brief statements regarding that.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. I've received a couple of inquiries about parking. Senior parking at Rocky Hill High School is a senior privilege. I looked into this. I know there was some concern. We have 182 seniors currently registered for 153 spaces, and I verified the current number yesterday, and I had Ron walk the lot again and verify with Mr. Foti the number of spaces. So it's a senior privilege. Typically, not every senior drives to school. Some kids get a license later on. Some kids get permission in the middle of the year. Families all make those decisions. What we plan on doing is going through the process, which takes a couple of weeks. As I noted in the email, students have to provide a valid driver's license, a copy of the vehicle registration, and a note from mom, dad, or guardian that they have mom's approval, dad's approval to drive to school on a daily basis. That takes a week or so to work through that process, and then eligible seniors are provided with an assigned space. What we envision doing, there used to be a waiting list, and that caused issues. And my conversation with Mr. Foti this year was, let's find out what's left over. Let's understand that some of these seniors get their spots later on during the year because they qualify for a license or the family buys a car or whatever the situation is. And then we envision at some point in the spring assigning any available spaces to eligible juniors, probably through a lottery process. If more juniors want the spot, then there are spots available. But the idea of the waiting list was causing some issues in the past years. John is here as well. I see him acknowledging that. So we think all eligible juniors, let's say, for example, March 1st, put all the names in a hat, notify everybody, transparent process, all the names in the auditorium, everybody's paperwork is in, and we had 17 spots, 40 kids wanted them, you guys got them. What people need to understand, we had some parents last year counting spots and so forth. Not every kid who has a spot drives every day. There are situations where a parent may work part-time and might say, you know, mom gets the vehicle on Tuesday and Thursday, but on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can drive to school. Tuesday, Thursday, get a ride with a friend, or your dad's gonna take you, or you have to hop the bus. We have those types of situations. Kids are sick, kids are out of school for 2 or 3 days, and we get into this thing where everybody's, wow, there was 9 spots yesterday. Well, there's a million reasons why there might be 9 open spots. So I wanted the board to have that information because it had been brought to my attention that there was this idea that we had a small senior class and we had more spots than seniors, and that's not factual. I just wanted you to have the accurate information.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, any questions regarding that correspondence? Hearing none, we will move on to the consent calendar, approval of recommended budget transfers for June 30th, 2023. Any requests to remove this item from the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Motion to approve the consent calendar, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Manella. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
8, Mr. Desai. 9, motion passes 9-0.
Let's do it.
Okay, Curriculum Committee. Committee reports will start with curriculum.
Curriculum has not met over the summer. I'm sure with the start of school, we will be scheduling a meeting very soon.
Okay. Facilities Committee meeting, Mr. Gavin.
The last meeting we had was in June. I wasn't here to report, so I don't know if anyone did during the last meeting, but we reviewed the roof at West Hill, which is going well, and at the time they had begun the process of redoing the science classrooms at middle school, and the Stevens School HVAC project was beginning phase 1.
Yep, and we will also, I believe, be getting a detailed update from Mr. LaMontagne, item 15 on the agenda. So should get an update tonight. Finance did not meet. P&N did not meet. Policy, Mr. Slattery, correct?
Policy did not meet over the summer. I imagine though, we do have some policy stuff that's being reviewed,
Tonight.
potential board action tonight, and then with school starting, I'm sure we'll have a meeting coming up.
Okay. Special Ed did not meet. Correct Council, Mr. Desai, did the Correct Council meet?
I could not attend because I was sick.
He
Okay.
couldn't attend.
Mr. Desai was unable to attend. School Safety did not meet, but Technology Committee did meet. Mr. Gavin.
So we met with Mr. Guay and Ms. Galligan, who presented us information on the technology plans for each school. And we basically had a conversation about continuing to look for opportunities to improve upon the technology, not purchase things in duplicate, and just try to make sure that we have a good plan going forward so that we can monitor it in the budget and, again, continue to improve the technology available to our teachers and to our students.
Okay, that was a very productive and good meeting. Any questions for Mr. Gavin regarding the Technology Committee meeting? All right, hearing none, we will move on. Old business, Dr. Zito, we have no old business, correct?
Correct.
Okay. New business, item 15, update on summer facility projects. Mr. LaMontagne.
Good evening, everybody.
I do have to stop you 1 second and say Mr. Morse is excited to see this, I can tell. It was his favorite part of our meeting.
I didn't know.
These
I did not
projects.
know he was going to be here, and now I hope I don't disappoint.
I didn't know either.
So thanks for inviting me to go over the projects in the on the larger scale and our littler projects that we did over the summer to get ready for next Thursday. I do have a PowerPoint. Jason thinks it's going to be a little long, but I'm going to try and speed through it. So, where's the clicker? Here's the clicker. What's that? All right. So the summer, we've actually been very busy. We always are busy in the summer, but the summer at Stevens, we did a complete floor refinish. We did the HVAC Phase 1 project in the front wing of the school, and we had some miscellaneous classroom flooring replaced throughout the building. The first slide, we have our old floor and the sanding going on, and then it was about a 4-week process to get it all done. And when all said and done, we have an updated husky paw print in the center and nice shiny floor with new striping. So we are in good shape for gym class and any park and rec activities that are coming our way. We had we had a couple of rooms that needed flooring desperately. Part of the cleaning process, you start seeing it buckle and become tripping hazards. So we took the opportunity of some classroom moves, primarily in our special ed department, and we replaced the flooring in the occupational therapy room, our special education resource room, which was moved downstairs this year. At Stevens School. The life skills classroom, which was relocated, and in our KIPP classroom. So the 3 classrooms are actually in the same hallway right next door to each other, which is nice to have all of our special ed team in the same area for the first time in a very long time. And the OT room is upstairs in the cross corridor. So there's not a lot to see for an HVAC project because most of the equipment is hidden, the piping, the electrical. But here's a typical classroom. There's two ductless heat pumps that are in the space in the 10 classrooms in the front wing. There's the new condensers. There's a total of 4 condensers for the 10 the 10 individual classrooms with new fencing in the courtyard. And that we are not going to be finished for the start of school, as we discussed in the past, because of some long lead electrical items. We're still expecting that electrical panel to be probably December. So what we did, I don't even know if I can go back here. Probably not. So we have the window units still. They were supposed to be removed, but we kept them in place for the start of the school year. So we will have a fully functional system for the start of the cooling season, and all those units will be removed, and new glass will be put in place. So we'll be good to go for the cooling season, mid-April or so when it starts up. So at West Hill, there wasn't a lot going on at West Hill. We did quite a bit of work a couple of summers ago with all the new HVAC equipment in that building, but the town was paving for us this summer. So they're finishing up now with the line striping and whatnot. So what we have, I just took a Google image of our old parking lot space, and I worked hard with Mr. Nozick and the town highway crews and engineering crews to change our layout a little bit. Here's the ultimate design. So we have a separation of the actual bus lane now. There's going to be an island. For years, we've had cars passing our buses, and it was really unsafe. So in order to do that, we took the flagpole island and we made it larger so that buses can only go up on that right-hand side, and they're the only ones allowed in front of the building. The teacher traffic and any visitor traffic will be directed to the left of that entranceway, and parking will be in that place. The smaller lot pretty much stayed unchanged, just new pavement, new striping, and a little bit of change just at the parent drop-off area at the top of that small parking lot. So I was able to get a couple pictures this morning after they started striping last night. Picture on the left is actually the area going to the left of the building between by the playground. There were a lot of tripping hazards in that area. We had a large step off where those cones are on the left. There were bleachers there, and about 2 times a week, Mr. Nozick would call saying another one tripped. So we actually had to take care of that. That was important. The picture on the left in here is the actual it's the entrance. You can see where the line is going up in the center of the white line. The island's going to be just to the left. That curbing should be done shortly with a green space, island. It's not going to be paved over or anything like that. And I was able to grab a screenshot of the new island. The green in the center of that island is where we originally had, and you can see where we expanded significantly, about 20 feet, to shorten that distance for the buses, so we can't have anyone sneaking by anymore. The pavement around the building itself will be done next summer with some sidewalks and new pavement. There just wasn't enough time this year, and with summer school being hosted in that building, it just wasn't a safe time to do it for those kids. So we were able to push that off till next summer. Griswold Middle School, we completed the 7th grade classrooms, and we're substantially complete on the roof. So here's our demolition phase of the building spaces. And here's our 2 new rooms with new color patterns, new cabinetry, lighting, upgraded sinks, electrical, almost identical to what we did last summer with the 8th grade, just a different color because the pods change, the grade color changes. All the furniture is in. The teachers are starting to unpack their boxes. We're in good shape in that space for the kids when they come back on the 31st. Here's our roof project. This is early in the stage when they started dropping off materials and setting up all their safety rails around the building. I was able to get up on the roof. We have brand-new skylights, new roofing, all new fascia material, and we're moving along, new gutter system along the pitched roof, which is over the top of the cafeteria and the gymnasium. It's roughly 90,000 square feet of roofing that we completed in the summer. There is going to be some trim work and flashing that's typical at the end of the summer that they'll be tackling on Saturdays and possibly during the school day, but nothing that's going to interrupt our teaching and learning. We're waiting for a couple of rooftop unit curbs. Those will be lifted and changed out on a Saturday, but nothing, like I said, is going to affect us operating the building at all. It was a great project. We're going to be pretty much under budget. There's contingency money that was not touched, and we actually have $113,000 credit coming back to us. So we're in good shape there. So at the high school, most of you know, we built a new softball field a few years ago. Unfortunately, the drainage was under-engineered, and we've struggled for the last couple of years, especially in the early spring with water on the field. This is the field after a very light rainfall on any given day last softball season. So in conjunction with Parks and Rec overseeing and watching daily operations, we were able to get contractors in to install brand new drainage. It's been bone dry since they completed, so I do not think we're going to have any problem in the spring.
Even last Friday?
Even last Friday.
They put under drain in it?
Yep, you can see, if you can take a look, you can see all, so there's all corrugated drainage underneath there, and it's distributed to the culvert that's behind the backstop there. And here it is complete, like we never even touched it. So it's in really good shape.
Yeah. Good job.
So here is another one of our projects that we've been working on. So the Dream Cafe is under construction. It's been quite the summer going back and forth with the landlord and the architects and, making design changes and equipment, finding equipment and that sort of thing. So construction has started. This is the overall floor plan. The lower right hand is the actual food prep area. That's the actual kitchen. And then on the left-hand side, we have our service counter and the point of service for purchases. It's coming along. We're expected to have a substantial completion date of September 30th. But we are definitely moving along. I was able to get in there the other day. They've been saw cutting and chopping up concrete and putting in the underground plumbing. So I was able to get in there, and it's a work in progress. But we are moving in the right direction. Yeah. It's been great. I've had a lot of contact with our consultant. Erin's been fantastic. She's guiding us in the right direction, and really excited to get this started. And I think Ms. Stevenson will touch on that later on. But it's happening. So I'm very excited to get that going and buy my first cup of coffee and egg sandwich. So that's the most important part. So district-wide, obviously, our summer cleaning and maintenance, we've upgraded and installed several additional cameras in multiple schools. I've done that in conjunction with Chris Gay, our IT director, some shared expenses, shared contractors, that sort of thing. We've added some additional access control on some doors. Various classroom teacher moves, primarily at Ms. Duran's school, but we're in good shape. It's a lot of work, and I'm not going to put a lot of detail into this because it's a security issue, but I do want to let you know that we did install safety and security film on entrances and that sort of thing. So I don't want to go into too much, but we were able to find some money for that, and it's also in a hopefully for reimbursement in a grant that we applied for. But this year I did something a little different. I actually snuck some photos of my guys doing some work. If it wasn't for our staff, we wouldn't be opening next Thursday. So I just a couple. Actually, I just want to point out this. The gentleman painting on the left pretty much painted the entire Mosier building again this summer. on his own. And that was the last area. And I said, I don't know if I want you doing that. He says, I can do it on a long pole. I said, all right, have at it. So he took it upon himself, and it's amazing. Those guys take so much pride in that building. They want to keep it new forever. So I'm really proud of that staff. And they are keeping it new, which is really important. So, throughout the buildings, here's some guys at Stevens, final buff on the cafeteria floor. It shines like, glass. Guys moving classroom furniture back in. I mean, every classroom is emptied completely into the hallways and gone through top to bottom. And that's what our hallways look like most of the summer until we put them back together. So here's our guys at West Hill stripping the cafeteria floor and then again moving furniture back into a classroom. Here's our high school crew stripping the cafeteria floor at the high school and taking care of the main lobby tile. And then we've got the office carpet cleaning going on at GMS, and the guys moving the new science classroom furniture after they assembled it all to get it into the science classrooms ready to go. So I wanted to give really a shout out to my staff. They're a dedicated bunch of custodians that just they take pride in their work, and they're ready for the kids to come back too. So with that, we are ready to open. I'm happy to take any questions anyone has on any of the projects.
First of all, thank you to you and your team for all of your efforts. Looks like a very productive and busy summer, so thank you for everything you've done. Any questions for Mr. LaMontagne?
On the new striping at Stevens School, do I see pickleball courts?
No.
Sure.
At Stevens School, no pickleball courts.
Look like pickleball.
Pickleball courts.
Are you implying because you're a pickleball fan or not? See, there's always a motive, Mr. Gavin, right?
I believe our only school that has pickleball striping is Mosier. Am I correct? You don't have it at West Hill, right? No. So it is Mosier. When we designed Mosier, we incorporated pickleball there.
Okay.
There you go. You know where to go, Sean.
So they cone it off. If they're doing pickleball in gym class, they find other ways.
All right.
The town is putting pickleball courts in at Elm Ridge, though.
I know that.
So you're all set.
You need a place for the winter.
Mosier School.
Indoor.
All right, any other questions for Mr. LaMontagne? Yes, Mr. Rolfe.
Of course, have a few questions.
Absolutely.
So I just had a question. So the HVAC at Stevens, so you said the electrical won't be in until December. Is that like procurement issue or is it a budget issue?
No, it's procurement. It's just not available.
Yeah, we were told, I think, 29 to 50 weeks when we started the project for the panel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yep.
it's such
So
a,
all those new pieces that are on the wall aren't online yet until we get?
they're not online until we can power them up. All the electrical's in place. All they have to do is put them in, connect the circuit breakers up, and we're good to go.
And phase one was, remind me, how much of the school was it?
It's the front wing, which is the 1957 wing. It's 10 classrooms.
Okay,
So roughly half our classroom space.
okay. And my other question was, and I didn't see it in the plan, but the West Hill, that's a raised island that they're putting in between?
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, because you get people that even though it might be painted, they're going to hop over it.
Yeah.
So no, we want to stop their car.
I know walking, they don't use the crosswalk, they just walk right across in front of the buses. I think that was my only, yeah, that's it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for all that.
Any last questions? Oh, Ms. Manella.
I know that every year we usually do have a walkthrough through all the schools. Do you anticipate anything like that, although your slides were very good?
I mean, we're happy to give a great tour. I can talk with Dr. Zito, see if we want to do something about that. I don't know if we'll get it done before school starts,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to, pick a night and go through the building so you can see all the hard work that's been done over the summer.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
good.
How'd I do, Frank?
You did good.
All right, moving on to item 16, discussion and possible action on the Board of Ed proposed policy revisions as recommended by Shipman and Goodwin. We have policy 1100, policy 4010, policy 5110. These are all related to non-discrimination. This is the board's second reading, so I will turn it over to Dr. Zito.
Yeah, you all had an opportunity to review this. We reviewed this at the special meeting, I think 2 weeks ago. Really, these are legislative actions that just change some of the language related to non-discrimination, basically expanding the number of protected classes in 3 areas: community, students, and staff. So we're happy to answer any questions, but I know we had a fairly detailed discussion. Ms. Flynn did a great job on pulling this together for us. This is the recommended change coming from our attorneys pursuant to the changes in state law. So our recommendation, as we'd mentioned at the special meeting, was we'd like you to adopt these changes this evening, so we have this in place prior to the opening of the school year.
All right, any questions from any board members for Ms. Flynn or Dr. Zito? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion, and we can do them all as one motion or separate them, whatever the board chooses.
All one.
Go ahead, sure.
I do have a question, actually. The optional, and I apologize if this was addressed, because I was out of town at the special meeting, for the special meeting. There's optional language. Is that something that we are adopting, or was that discussed?
We normally go with all the changes that are highlighted in yellow, cross out the red. You see what that's crossed out?
Yeah.
Where are you referring to optional, Mr. Slattery?
Under 5,000 on page 2.
Which
There's something highlighted in gray.
The student version.
Second page.
It is not being included. It's not being included, no.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not in the ones I have.
I had it.
Oh, that may have
Oh, I
been
see
the
it,
first,
yeah.
yeah.
the
Yeah,
blue.
it is not being
No,
included.
normally, we don't recommend the optional. We like the board to see it, but it's not a requirement
Excellent.
from the attorneys.
On that note,
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion from someone, yes.
move to adopt the policy recommendations outlined by Shipman and Goodman.
If you could just restate the policy numbers. for the
Policy
motion.
number 1100, policy number 4010, and policy number 5110.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Lafredo. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have 8. Mr. Desai?
Aye.
9. Motion passes 9-0. Thank you, everyone. All right, item 17, discussion and possible action of the addition of an elementary school parent-teacher conference in the spring of 2024. This item was first discussed at the June 13th, 2023 Curriculum Committee meeting. It was brought forward based on the recommendation of that meeting to the full board for possible action tonight. I will turn it over to Dr. Zito.
So, as Mr. Dillon mentioned, this was discussed on June 13th. The feedback we've gotten from members of the community and from our staff, this is just at the elementary level, was that it would be helpful to have a second set of conference dates reserved in the spring for parents that would like a second follow-up conference with a classroom teacher. They always have an option to ask for a conference at any point that they feel a child might be struggling, but we felt it would be a good idea to formalize it on the calendar. But before you act on the calendar, our recommendation is that you take action on going to spring conferences, and if you approve that, then you would adjust your calendar accordingly.
Any questions for Dr. Zito? I think most of the board was at this meeting anyways, the curriculum committee meeting, so it's a full slate of discussion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to adopt the proposal of adding elementary school parent-teacher conferences in the spring of 2024.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Tucker. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Desai, 9-0, motion passes. Okay, because we adopted item 17, we need to discuss and adopt item 18, which is a formal revision to the board's 2023-2024 school calendar to now include the approval tied to item 17. Dr. Zito, do you want to?
So on the current calendar, you have, I think, Christine, it's October 27th, correct? Is a half-day. we're recommending that now go to a full day, so that half-day professional development would be removed, and we would add a half-day March 21st, elementary only, and that would be for elementary parent-teacher conferences.
Okay. That works for everyone. I will entertain a motion to accept the revision to the school calendar revising October 27th and March 21st.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Slattery. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Manella. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
8, Mr. Desai. 9, motion passes 9-0. Thank you. All right, we're making our way through here. Item 19, Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and Student Services, Ms. Stevenson.
All right, good evening, everyone. So I have a couple PowerPoints for you tonight. I promise they're going to be brief, but they're going to be exciting, I promise. Before I get to the PowerPoint, I just want to give you a brief update on our hiring for this summer. So this summer, we hired a total of 25 staff. 10 of them were certified staff. So we hired 9 teachers and 1 school psychologist. So if you're reading, articles in the news and you're seeing the news, you're seeing that there's a lot of districts that are going to be starting their year with a lot of vacancies. Rocky Hill is not one of them. We have all of our certified vacancies filled, and that's been great. We've had multiple applicants for every single position. We have a few non-certified positions we're still working to fill, but I'm confident we're in the process. We have applicants. We're just setting up interviews and things like that. So I just wanted to give you an update. Does anyone have any questions on the hiring piece? Okay. So, on, I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. It was probably one of the best days of my career. Erin Emmons, the restaurant consultant, and I spent the day at Beans and Company, which is a restaurant in Avon. And the owner is Kim Morrison, and her mission is to have an inclusive employment setting where adults with disabilities are partnered with typical adults, and they work together, and it's a 50-50 ratio. So we went and spent the day, and we got to spend the day with the owner. And I wanted to show you just some pictures that we took, because this is what we're modeling the Dream Cafe after this. So I just thought, I know Ron showed you the picture of what it's looking like now, but this is what it's going to look like soon. So this is just a little picture of it's a very cute decor. And then there's, when you walk in on the wall, there's all of these words, and it says, underneath, it says Beans and Company and the words of our customers 2019. So you see words like love, acceptance, equality, inclusion, community, those are all the things that we're hoping to do with the Dream Cafe. This is a picture of the owner, Kim Morrison, and 2 of her employees. And this is kind of what we're looking. So we're looking to have like a menu. We really like the Blackboard menu with baked goods and the coffee. Everyone Belongs is the theme of the restaurant, and so obviously we're not going to steal that exact theme, but we're going to be doing something similar. And she was completely happy with us looking at her ideas and modeling it after that. She was great with that. They have swag, so they have t-shirts, Everyone Belongs. So we just got some really great ideas of things that we can do, and also ways that we can include our Rocky Hill High School students, because our students can make t-shirts like this and signage and things like that. So we just came away with so many amazing ideas how this can really just be a community project. It's going to be so amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
There's a little, kind of what we're doing, a little classroom area. So they have an area like that too. Ron loved the door and said he was going to try to do something similar. So that was exciting. They had stenciling on the wall. I just loved it. You will leave better than when you came in. So I just thought that was it's just such a great saying. This is just a little coffee station. So you get your coffee and then you can go and add whatever you need to add to it. This is just a view of the counter with the baked goods, so we just really want to have something similar to this. I love their little coffee, perk up, espresso yourself, stay grounded, better latte than never, take life one cup at a time. So it was just so positive. It was just such a great experience. This is Nick. He waited on us and he took our order and came and made sure that everything was okay. And he has been with the restaurant since the beginning, so that was really great to meet him. He was awesome. And this is the owner and just a few of her employees. I love the little sign. It says coffee, liquid that smells like fresh ground heaven. And this is just a picture of me and Erin, our consultant, and Kim, the owner. And you see her shirt, and then Nick and another employee. So it was just a really positive experience. And I wanted to share it with you guys because this is what we're envisioning our Dream Cafe to be, and it to be really just a whole community project. And that's what it's going to be. So I think that's the last slide. So does anybody have any questions about any of that?
That looks fabulous, by the way. I think, the entire board is so excited for this. This was just such a great concept that was conceived, and it's great to see that it's moving forward.
Yes.
Any specific questions for Ms. Stevenson? No. All right. Oh, sorry, Mr.
Ron, if you want any help, I've built some barn doors in my day.
Awesome, because I really like that look. And I also wanted to let you know that on September 12th, we'll be presenting to the Council on Developmental Disabilities. We had received a grant, and we did apply for another grant to receive additional funds for this project, and we will be presenting to the whole council on where we are with the project and the status of the project. So I'll be reporting how that goes in the September board meeting. I'll be letting you guys know how that goes.
Awesome, thank you.
Amy, just to clarify, we just recently applied for year 2.
Year 2. Yep, we had gotten year 1, and then we applied for year 2. So I haven't heard yet if we received that. I don't want to be ahead of myself, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get it because they're so excited about what we're doing. So I'm hoping that we get that.
That's
Is that
great.
additional money, or was it?
It's additional. Yep,
right?
it's additional money.
Year 1
Yeah.
was 50,000,
Right.
and year 2 is another, we're eligible for another year of 50,000. We just applied.
Yep.
And I think Mr. Dillon was going to mention Ms. Wood helped us.
Yes,
push
I would
that
be.
along the first time.
Yeah, I would be remiss if our state rep is here, and she did help us get this first grant. So, Representative Wood, thank you for all your help in getting this as well.
Yes, thank you. And Mr. Kosker, I'm hoping to see you. We're counting on your support too. All right, so if there's no more questions on that, I wanted to talk to you briefly tonight about another initiative that we're going to be starting this year, hopefully with your support. So we have an animal advocacy club at the high school, and these are some of the students that are in the club. Miss Stephanie Malkin is our school psychologist at the high school. She is nothing less than a superstar, and she has been talking to me about this for 6 years since I started. And her and I both share, I don't know if you guys know, I'm big into dog rescue. It's a big thing in my life. It's always been. So her and I just have bonded over animals and dog rescue and things like that. So she's been talking to me about it. I've been talking to Dr. Zito about it. And this is where we're going with it. So this is a brief PowerPoint. I can send it to you because I'm not going to go super into it tonight, but I can send it to you if you want more information. So student mental health, even before COVID-19 pandemic, rates of youth suicide in America reached record levels. So we know there's kind of like a mental health crisis. You know that we are seeing some students at the high school experiencing trauma, school avoidance, these type of things. And we've been talking, what can we do, to get these students more connected to school? We know that there is a connection between animals and mental health. So we just know that. Research tells us that. I think just qualitatively we know that. And that's just something that we've been talking about. This is just to show that as children get older, obviously they experience more episodes of depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorders. So we know that at the high school level, that can be the most significant. So when you talk about animals in schools, there's 3 different kinds. You have a service animal, that's an individually trained to work or perform for the benefit of an individual with a disability. You have an emotional support animal, And then you have something called animal-assisted interventions, which is like goal-oriented, structured interventions that intentionally incorporate animals in health, education, and human service for the purpose of therapeutic gains in improved health or wellness. So that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. So animals can be used, animal-assisted therapy, animal-assisted education, animal-assisted activities, providing opportunities for motivational education or recreational benefits to enhance quality of life, delivered by a trained professional in partnership with an animal that meets specific criteria. So in order to do something like this, you have to have a handler. They have to provide proof of the dog's up-to-date rabies vaccination. Dogs have to have basic obedience skills: sit, down, stay, come, leave it. Many organizations require a dog to become a canine good citizen. A handler dog team must train using positive reinforcement. Dogs must be at least 10 months old. The handler must pass a written test. Dog and handler must pass a test together. And the handler dog team must recertify on a regular basis. So that's the requirement for a handler. Again, just benefits of AAIs: increased self-esteem, improves interactions with others, reduces blood pressure. I could go on and on. Improves focus in school, relationships between people. And at the end of this PowerPoint, there are references, so you can check out where this information came from. And this PowerPoint was not created by me. It was created by the students and Ms. Malkin. So it was not created by me. They gave it to me to try to make their case. Okay. An animal-assisted activity in the school setting, dogs, it's a choice as to whether or not someone wants to participate. A registered dog and a human team are covered by their organization's liability insurance, so they have their own insurance. Teams need to pass rigorous training and testing in order to become certified and stay certified. Hypoallergenic dogs can be utilized whenever possible. Public schools in Connecticut have been doing this for a long time. This is a list of schools that are doing it, and the Rocky Hill Public Library has been doing it as well. So this is not new. This has been something that's been going on. And I can tell you, and I know it's the next slide, when Newtown happened, the way, because I actually know personally the person who brought in the therapy dogs to Newtown, that is what they did to try to help with the trauma, because it was just so much traumatic, and it did make a huge difference with the dogs. This is Joy. And as long as you support it, she's going to be coming to the high school for 1 hour a week. That's where we're going to start. All students that interact with Joy will have a permission slip signed by their parents, so it's with parent permission. And they estimate that they can have about a total of 40 students, because it's about 10 students like every 15 minutes. So we're going to start there. I did this in my last district, so I have had experience with this. It was completely fine. Students signed up. Only those who interacted with, that wanted to would interact with the dog. The dog is going to come in to the building from where the multipurpose room is. So the dog is not going to walk through the building. She's going to go right in the multipurpose room. The handler will be with the dog at all times. I have all the documentation, vaccines, everything. I have all the information. And it's Faithful Friends Therapy Dogs is the organization that the dog is with. And the handler is Dr. Alice Quinn. So that's what we're doing.
If I may.
Yes, Dr. Zito.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. As you shared with me, Ms. Stevenson, where Stephanie comes at this from her professional angle is the feeling as the school psychologist that we've talked about some of our students that disconnect from school, and this is really a way to get some students that may feel disconnected, give them a reason to come to school.
Definitely. The kids have been asking for this, and the goal is that it's really targeting two groups of students. One, students that have experienced trauma, and students that may have experienced trauma but are also school avoidant. And the hope is that if they interact with the dog, that they're going to make a connection to school safe, that kind of a thing, and that they'll be able to, just make more positive connection to school and want to attend school on a regular basis and get more connected to school. That's what the research has shown, and that's what the other districts that have done this, it has helped that connection with students to school.
That's great.
So you don't, I can't take credit for this. This is all Stephanie Malkin, so I just want to be very clear about that.
Club, too.
And the
High
kids.
school kids.
The kids, yes. Right, Mr. Fody? And thanks to Mr. Fody and Mr. Malizia because they supported it, so.
All right, excellent. Any questions for Ms. Stevenson? Yes, Ms. Morphy.
So there's 10 students every 15 minutes?
So visits will be for 1 hour. Same handler, same dog. Visits will take place with small groups of 10 students for approximately 15 minutes for each group, servicing a total of 40 students per visit per week.
Okay.
That's the information that I have.
I'm just curious, how does that actually work with, because there's going to be 10 kids surrounding one dog, or how's it?
I mean,
It just seems a little,
I'm sure they have a way to manage it. It might, be where it's 3 kids because it's 10 students for 15 minutes for each group. So they might cycle through. The dogs usually just kind of sit there and they kind of go around and they just pet the dog, and the dog's very calm, and it's just a very calming thing. So,
okay.
yeah, I mean, that's the information I have. We're gonna do this. It could get tweaked. It could be less kids. It could be more kids. We might add time. The goal would be maybe I would like to bring something like this to Pathways, because Pathways would be a very appropriate setting to bring something like this. So that would be the next thing that we would look at if this is successful, which I have no doubt that it will be.
Any additional questions?
Yeah, I think I would like to see, I think I would like to see less kids, but more time. You know what I mean? Like 2 hours maybe a week with 5 kids each time, just to.
I mean, I think
they get more of the attention.
They kind of run how it goes. So I don't think we do. I think they kind of run how it goes, and we tweak based on what's happening. Okay. So they've been doing this, and so we're going to kind of go with their expertise. And then if it's not working based on the students that we have or something, absolutely we'll alter it. Definitely.
Ms. Manella.
So are the times going to be, I know you said it's an hour a week, so are the times going to be kind of rotated? Only because what if a child is in a certain
that's a good
class?
point.
Or
Yeah, I think Miss Malkin is really going to be the point person. She's right, because she's said, I'm going to handle this. She knows the kids, so I'm sure she's going to know what times are going to work. And if that's the case, she's going to say, hey, this week come in the morning, next week come in the afternoon, for that reason, so that we can get multiple kids.
I'm sure my son's going to want to get out of Miss Galley's class. So
Yeah, we're going to have to manage all those things. Yeah, and just so you know, I will be sending a communication to all of the staff and all the parents at the high school. They'll be getting a communication from me just notifying them that we're doing this, because we do have to notify staff and parents that there will be an animal in the school. So if you have a high school child, you will be getting that communication from me.
Any additional questions for Ms. Stevenson?
Very quick.
Oh, Ms. Rolfe, sorry.
Go ahead.
So what do you do if you get more students than you have time slots? How are you going to handle that?
So we can do a couple of things. One, we can ask for more time. I cut out the slide just because I was trying to minimize. There are multiple organizations. This isn't the only one. So if for whatever reason they can't give us more time, we have other organizations that we can look at to get maybe a different dog, get more time.
Yeah, I was just thinking so you said 10 students, so that's 40, right?
40.
On a day.
Yep.
If you get 50 students that sign up, how are you going to decide which students
We just might ask for more time.
Oh, just ask, okay.
Yep, we'll just ask her for more time for another hour.
Okay.
We're going to go to Mr. Slattery only because he was waiting
I'm
next.
sorry.
All right, now it's
Sorry,
Steve.
Steve.
Quick question, just, we have proof of their insurance?
Yep, I have everying right here.
Cool.
Yep,
All right.
full packet.
That's the
Ms.
lawyer.
Manella, I'm
That's the
sorry.
lawyer.
That's the lawyer. That's
in
the
me.
lawyer, yes.
The accountant in me is going to ask, is this costing the
No.
district? Okay, perfect.
No.
Really?
I had
We
the
got-
same
We got
question.
legal and finances. Good.
Had to ask.
All right, then can I jump in?
Yes, yes.
From an elementary perspective, I have seen this in schools with elementary school kids and the dog, just to kind of answer some questions. We actually did it at my building for a Differences Day, and we just had the kids kind of stay in a line, and the dog went where the dog wanted to go. He wandered around, and the handler explains how you are to pet the dog. It's a beautiful program. I'm so happy to hear that it's going to be starting here in Rocky Hill. I'd love to see it in all of our buildings. I think our
Yes.
elementary kids would love reading to a dog in
Yes.
the library. So
Yes.
we can keep that in our back pockets
Yes.
for future, adventures with Joy or
Agreed.
any other dog that wants to come our way. And I know
Agreed.
already you have 2 kids out in the audience that are going to love this when they get to the high school. So
Yes, no, I agree, and that is something to bring dogs in. There's been a lot of districts that
Am I bringing my dog to work?
do we have proof of liability?
That's right. Check all the boxes.
But having elementary students, there's been some research that has shown that elementary students that struggle to read and that don't want to read out loud, but they read to a dog who's not going to judge, that's been really effective. So that this could be just like the Dream Cafe. This could be just like a really big thing. So I like to do big things.
She
So
looks so sweet. I would love to meet her.
yes, so I'll definitely be sharing more adventures of Joy with you guys. I'm very excited about this, and she just looks so sweet.
So sweet.
I know.
Can she come to a Board of Ed?
Maybe I'll ask.
She'll be exhausted.
All right, moving on. Any last questions? No? Ms. Stevenson, thank you so much.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Our next item, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations. Chuck, this is a tough report to follow behind now.
I know. Spreadsheets and numbers, boring stuff. But in your board packet is the financial report reflecting year-to-date figures for the month ending July 31st, 2023. Obviously, there is limited expense activity in the report due to the fiscal year just beginning and the start of school occurring on August 31st, 2023. Auditors have been in this week performing the work related with the year-end audit. They'll be back in the week of September 3rd, completing the remainder of their final field work. So that's going well to date. Bus transportation routes have been posted to our district website. We have moved one bus that was previously assigned to West Hill and have now assigned it to Stevens, just to make the routes as best that we can and make it more uniform. I would urge parents to review their bus route, as there have been changes, particularly at West Hill and Stevens, as a result of those bus changes. And as a reminder, we do ask that students be at their stop 10 minutes prior to their expected pickup time. For the 2023-24 school year, Rocky Hill Public Schools is no longer offering all meals free of charge. However, the state is providing some funding in very specific ways. Breakfast will be free for all students at any schools that offered breakfast last year. So for Rocky Hill, that would be the high school. Stevens and West Hill students will be eligible to receive free breakfast. Mosier is offering a new breakfast program this year. And that being the case, they will not be eligible for the state funding offering a free breakfast. I think what happened is the state did the calculations based on the amount of money they had available, and they did it off of last year's breakfast counts. So that's the reason or rationale for that. Students at all 5 schools that qualify for reduced price meals will be eligible to receive 1 free lunch per day. So that's an additional benefit. Also, income guidelines for free and reduced meals have been lowered in order to allow more students to qualify. So we strongly encourage all families to fill out an application for free and reduced priced meals. Families can find that application online on our website under the district heading Food and Nutrition Information. So I encourage all families to take a look at that form and fill it out if need be. It's very important. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Zedegren from any board members? No? All right, Chuck, thank you for that report. All right, item 21, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Listro.
All right, well, I will begin with my most exciting news first. The state recently released the assessment results, and we are still combing through them, but I am pleased to say that across the board, in all areas, ELA for Smarter Balance and SAT, we did extremely well yet again. We are either number 1 or number 2 in our DIRG. And great increases this year in science. It looks like we are actually number 3 in the DIRG, which is a very large increase over last year. So all good news. I will be back in October to do a more in-depth report on that. Summer school, our celebration of learning, successfully took place at Mosier in July. We had about 100 students in grades 1 through 5 receive literacy and math instruction to keep their learning going over the summer. Special thanks to Ms. Robin Otis, who served as our director. She's also the lead teacher in the literacy course at West Hill. Over the summer, as you may guess, we're always very busy in the curriculum world. We're very proud of our curriculum, but there's always room for improvement. As in years past, many teachers came in over the summer to work with Ms. Paige Weaver, our math coordinator, Mary Schaefer, our language arts coordinator, to update our curricula. And we're proud of this model because we really feel it helps keep teachers engaged in the teaching and learning during the school year without being interrupted to do the necessary curriculum revisions. We do those during the summer. A couple upcoming events. Tomorrow, we welcome back our new teachers and our freshmen. You'll be seeing them at our next board meeting, so I won't say too much about them now. On next week, August 28th and 29th and 30th, of course, are our professional development days for our staff. And time has been allocated, as always, for departments and teams to meet to prepare for instruction, review the curriculum updates, etc. Teachers and certified and non-certified staff also have opportunities to complete all of the mandatory training, including the seizure information. We have a very full schedule of workshops tailored to meet each department needs this year, and I'm just going to highlight a few of them. High school staff is going to be learning about some very important changes that are taking place on the SAT. Our PE and health department is learning about the sport of cricket, and I know Mr. Mike Evanoso is with us tonight, who is also a PE health teacher at West Hill, so I think we're excited to learn about cricket. And our district instructional technology facilitator, Ms. Danielle Galligan, is going to be sharing some important information on keeping kids safe online. And our administrators, during their welcome back training yesterday, learned about a brand new data warehouse system that we will be rolling out to help improve our ability to look and analyze that student data. And I'll be sharing more information as that rollout continues. If you are interested in meet and greet and open house, just a reminder, information is posted on our website. And if you hear of any parents that have questions, the best place to get them answered is to call the school. And we are also welcoming back our bus drivers. We have our annual bus driver welcome back breakfast scheduled for early September. That's when our principals go through bus safety, bus behavior expectations, and talk about different initiatives we have at the school to help support safe kids on the bus. That's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Any questions for Ms. Listro? All right, hearing none, I will move on. Dr. Zito, Superintendent's report.
Thank you. A couple quick comments. First of all, we're excited to welcome 10 new teachers to Rocky Hill, as Ms. Stevenson mentioned earlier. They'll be in for their first day tomorrow for new teacher orientation, and then we will invite them to the September regular meeting so that the board can interact and introduce. We like you to meet them, and they'd like to meet you, so it's a nice highlight each September. Veteran staff comes back to work on Monday, as Darlene mentioned, with the students scheduled for their first day of school on August 31st. Can't believe summer's over, but we're looking forward to welcoming the kids back next week and getting started. So we had our former chair here tonight, and he alluded to the fact that Mr. Dillon is stepping away from the board after 14 years of loyal and dedicated service to the families, the students, and the staff of Rocky Hill. I know I speak for our staff and our leadership team, Brian, when I thank you for all the hard work and outstanding efforts you've put in. Everything you've done has always been focused on advocating for kids and improving the school system. Facilities upgrades, to your policy decisions, to our improved achievement results, to appointing strong leaders in a wide range of positions throughout the district, and also to the steadfast leadership that you provided during the pandemic, and the decision that our board made as a whole to keep these schools open when so many surrounding communities closed schools and kept kids out of school for lengthy periods of time. You did the right thing for kids in this town. You're going to be missed, and I would just wish you all the best in the years to come. Pleased to know you're going to have a little more time with your family, and everybody's here, including the college kid tonight, so that's a great thing. So we welcome you back as well, Maddie. But Brian, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. The last item tonight, two more items tonight. The first one is my chair report. This will be my last chair report. As you know, tonight is my last meeting as a member of the Rocky Hill Board of Education. I'd like to start my remarks by first thanking the Rocky Hill community for electing me to serve on this board for the past 14 years. I would also like to thank my fellow board members, both past and present, that I've had the pleasure with serving over this time. All of you should be recognized for your contributions and improvements to the Rocky Hill school system. My journey to the board started 14 years ago with a desire to really improve the town's aging school facilities. At that time, I felt our schools were tired, code deficient, and obsolete on so many levels. 14 years later, I now sit here and I feel that my mission's accomplished and we've completed so many important projects. We've renovated our high school to an as-new condition. We've updated multiple HVAC systems to achieve indoor air quality standards. We've replaced roofs. We've installed ADA elevators. We've constructed new middle school science labs. We've improved our athletic fields. And now we're about to develop a standalone facility for the Dream Academy. And we also completed one centerpiece to our school system, a brand new Mosier School. All incredible accomplishments for this board over the past 14 years. I would personally like to thank all of our incredible teachers, paraeducators, specialists, and support staff in the school system. All of you are the foundation of our school system. It has truly been a pleasure collaborating with you over all these years and observing firsthand, year after year, the results of your dedication and professionalism. The excellence in our test scores, standardized achievement rankings across all grade levels could not have happened without your commitment to this community. And to our great team of administrators, both at the central office and in our schools, we're so lucky to have all of you here. And I want to thank all of you for your dedication over the past years, as well as your leadership to our school system. In looking back over the past 10 to 14 years, I believe that as a board member, I've participated in hiring about 90% of our current school administrators. Jokingly, I believe this includes hiring Jay Maziarz twice, once for Mosier and once for Griswold. And I'm glad you're here tonight, Jay. Thank you. It has truly been a pleasure working with all of you. The patience and professionalism that all of you have demonstrated with the board during the budget process, policy changes, and dialogues related to our school operations has truly been appreciated. Over the past decade, all of you have taught me so much as a board member. Chuck, with your never-ending budget evaluations and last-minute number crunching. Darlene, with all of your presentations detailing data and showcasing the district's excellence in achievement across all spectrums of education, as well as grade levels. Amy, with your persistence to improve our special ed programs, your goal of bringing all of these students that are outplaced back to Rocky Hill, and your awesome PowerPoints about the Dream Academy. I think every meeting we would all leave here saying, boy, we want to be part of the Dream Academy. And most certainly, Christine Flynn, you're probably the board's most valuable employee. You remind us about our meeting agendas, our policy meetings, and most importantly, you make sure we're here and we have a quorum for our meetings. So thank you for all you've done.
Welcome.
The other side of being on the board is politics. All of us have taken a seat here due to our political affiliations and local election results. The process requires that we interact, collaborate, and build consensus amongst both the board's elected body as well as our counterparts on the town council and state legislature. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to thank our former state senators, Paul Doyle and State Representative Tony Guerrera. During their tenure, the both of them made a point to reach out to this board 2 or 3 times a year to provide both legislative updates, and discuss any additional support or assistance that our local school system may require. The completion of the high school renovation project, Mosier School, and Challenger Field would not have happened without the support of these 2 individuals. And consistent with that, I would also like to thank our current state representative, Carrie Wood, for her ongoing support of our school system. She supported our district throughout COVID, ensuring our share of ESSER funds, and continues to support our district with an open line of communication. She has been a valuable assistance to the board in pursuing state CIP grants, getting our grant from the Council of Developmental Disabilities, and securing additional security grant funds. Over the past 10 to 12 years, the board has also been very fortunate to be supported by the various mayors of Rocky Hill. While we have not always gotten everything we requested, we have always been well-funded and able to effectively operate the school. During my time on the board, I would like to personally thank Mayors Moriarty, Bassel, Bayo, and the late Mayor Kohanek, as well as our current Mayor Murata. I would especially like to thank Mayors Bayo, Kohanek, and Murata for all their support in completing the Mosier School project. It was quite an undertaking over those 3 or 4 years. The project had never been a success without their commitment. I would also like to thank Mayor Murata for her support and commitment to the school system during the COVID pandemic. Similar to what Dr. Zito said, her support was able to allow us to safely and effectively keep the Rocky Hill school system open, allowing all students the choice of attending school in person or remotely. Mayor Murata's consistent support of our school system and its achievements has truly been appreciated by the board and the school district. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge 2 previous board chairs, one who surprisingly is here tonight. They are both good friends of mine, Frank Morse and Bill McDonald. The both of them laid the foundation for a variety of BOE initiatives which have become the cornerstone of ongoing successes in the Rocky Hill school system. Near and dear to my heart, they both continue to emulate a strong approach for the board to build collaboration and consensus in a bipartisan approach. I would also like to take a moment to thank Bill and all of his efforts. Bill McDonald, I believe, was an excellent chair for the Board of Ed, and outside of everything he did, he helped establish some great programs like the Rocky Hill Sea Cub Swim Program, as well as the first steps in the grant application for the Challenger Field at Elmridge Park. Finally, to my right is one of the best decisions that I ever made as a board member, and that was the hiring of Dr. Zito. As the story goes, we went through the interview process that night. Frank Morse and I were sitting in the hallway outside of the restroom deciding that Dr. Zito was going to be our person. We wanted to make an offer to Dr. Zito. Lo and behold, Dr. Zito walks out of the restroom. Frank and I look at each other and go, well, there goes any leverage we have in negotiations. But it was one of the cornerstones, I think, and the best things that the Rocky Hill Board has done. To future boards, my one piece of advice is to allow Mark and his team to guide your success. Maybe even to his own fault, Mark will always provide the board a direct, honest, and sincere approach to any question or issue. This is probably the most important quality that a board can expect from its superintendent. I can personally say that the board has been truly blessed to have Dr. Zito here over the past 12 years. A lot of our successes have been driven by his steady approach and thoughtful guidance when interacting with the board. While I may not miss any of the headache phone calls concerning school incidents, broken pipes, or complaints, I will certainly miss our discussions on public school policies and the achievements of the Rocky Hill School District. Lastly, I need to end my remarks here. I would be remiss if I did not thank my wife, Kim, my daughter, Madison, and my son, Gavin. I started all of this with a goal of making the local school system a better place for my kids in the community. I'm not sure Kim knew what she was getting into when she agreed to let me take on this endeavor so many years ago. With that being said, I certainly want to thank my wife for all her patience and understanding over these 14 years. especially all the nights I jetted out of the house before dinner, got stuck late at a meeting, or forgot to grab something on the way home. I certainly would not have been able to sit on the board for so many years without your support. Thank you so much. I could not have done this without my family. With that being said, that concludes my final chair report. Thank you, everyone, for everything. We'll now proceed with the election of officers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Zito, we have a few words for Mr. Dillon, if you don't mind.
Yes, Ms. Minella.
Okay. We have a few words, the Democratic side. So, dear Brian, we were disheartened to hear of your resignation as chair of the Board of Education, and we would like to express our deepest appreciation for your years of exceptional service. Your leadership, resilience, and unwavering dedication have been instrumental in guiding the board through the unprecedented challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The past few years have been particularly tumultuous for boards of education across the nation. The COVID-19 pandemic brought forth an array of complex issues that required swift and decisive action. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, you ensured that our meetings were conducted with civility, respect, and a shared commitment to the well-being of our students and educators. Your ability to maintain a sense of unity and collaboration, transcending party lines, has been truly remarkable. You have fostered an environment where diverse perspectives are valued and where the focus remains firmly on the common goal of providing the best possible education for our students.
And even though the results of this budget process weren't in our favor, we would like to thank you for the valiant fight that you gave to avoid cuts. Beyond your role as chair of the board, you have been a source of inspiration and support for the community. Your passion for education, coupled with your genuine care, has been evident in every decision and action that you've taken. Your tireless efforts to advocate for the needs of our students and educators have left an indelible mark on the educational institutions.
Brian, on behalf of the Democratic board members and our families, we extend our gratitude for your invaluable contributions as you step down from the board. Your legacy as chair will forever be remembered and cherished. Wishing you continued success, fulfillment, and happiness in all your future endeavors. With utmost respect and gratitude, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I really appreciate it. Very kind words. Thank you. With that, we will continue with the election of officers tonight. I would like to entertain a motion for chair from the floor. Any nominations for chair from the floor?
I would like to make a motion to appoint Steve Slattery for chairman of the board.
Is there a second for Mr. Slattery?
Second.
Any further nominations from the floor for chair? Any further nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. Hearing none, I'll motion, yep, motion for Steve.
I motion for Steve Slattery to be board chair of the Board of Education.
Second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Desai? Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Slattery. To conclude the process, we now have to continue to vice chair. Are there any motions, nominations from the floor for vice chair? Nominations for vice chair.
I move to nominate Amber Tucker as a vice chair for the Board of Education.
Is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
Seconded by. Any further nominations for vice chair? Any further nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to appoint Amber Tucker vice chair of the Board of Education.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Desai, motion passes 9-0. Congratulations, everyone. With that, I will turn the gavel over to the new chair to close the meeting.
Thank you. I guess, well, before I entertain a motion, I do want to just say one thing for Brian. I'm obviously relatively new to politics. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, but I want to thank you as a parent more than anything, because before I was on the board, I've been a parent. I have 3 kids in the district, and I really think that the decisions, number one, the way that you've built up the infrastructure. My kids have enjoyed that. They're basically their entire time in district. So thank you for that. I've heard some stories in my short tenure here as far as the conditions of some of the schools when you came in. And thank you for that. But additionally, I think that some of the decisions that you made as a board, as a chair, as an administration during the pandemic, I think really during a time when it was very those were difficult decisions to be making. I think you guys made those decisions to the benefit of our students, of my children, to our students, to our community, and I think that in time we'll see that it's going to have a lasting effect on their education and on their future. So, thank you for all of that.
Thank you,
Mr. Dill. With that, anything else? Anybody else have any comments? I will entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by Amber Tucker, seconded by Mr. Gavin. Motion adjourned at 8:27.
Thank you.